everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have been anxiously awaiting filming this video ever since Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics announced that they were pulling or recalling or discontinuing or whatever you want to call it, this palette right here from the ChampagneGlow collection. So this is the eye palette that was released with the big ChampagneGlow collection. Becca and Jaclyn Hill released like 5 or 6 products. This was one of them. I did a whole video on this. This is the face palette, the ChampagneGlow face palette, which I love, by the way. I will link my review down below. But I was so excited for this. I bought this the day it released online. I got it right before I went to Fame Expo. I opened it up, I took a picture of it, but for some reason I didn't swatch it. I don't know why, because every time I get new products, I swatch them like immediately, and I take pictures of myself swatching them, like it's just my thing. But for some reason I didn't swatch this. I threw it in my bag for Fame Expo. I didn't use it on Fame Expo. And then I came home and I saw Jaclyn Hill's Snapchat that people were complaining about the product quality of this palette, this eye palette. And so much so that they pulled it and they're not going to make anymore and you can't buy it anymore and it's gone, it's done. So if you have it, good or bad for you, and if you didn't get a chance to buy it, like, you can't anymore. So basically the complaints were saying that the eye colors are not up to Becca's quality. They're patchy, they're chalky, they don't swatch well, they don't wear well, which is so crazy because Becca Cosmetics powders are like that water-based, really silky, buttery feeling, and apparently this is not that quality. So I haven't even swatched it. I can show you up close that the powders are completely untouched. So here is the powders. You can see I haven't put my finger in them, I haven't swatched them, I haven't done anything with them. The colors in order, so this is Bourgeois, this is Cognac, this is Cordial, this is Champagne Toast. This is the one that Jaclyn Hill created. She created the color of this one, not the other ones. And then this one is Chardonnay. This one in the middle, this dusty pink color, is actually what made me want to buy the palette because I love colors like this in my crease. I love them. Okay, so now that you guys know I haven't touched it, I haven't swatched it yet for whatever crazy reason, I'm going to do it right now on camera with you guys and I'm going to give you a true, honest, full review. I'm going to swatch it for you, I'm going to put it on my eyes, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Is this a bad palette? Or are people just being crazy? So let's check it out. Okay, I'm actually kind of nervous. Okay, let's do Bourgeois. Ooh, and this one feels really soft. I don't see anything wrong with this one. It feels really soft. Look at that. Really super pigmented. Let's swatch it on my arm. Swatch is a little patchy. I mean, it's more pigmented up here, and then it gets a little bit kind of less pigmented as the swatch goes down, but overall it's pretty pigmented. Let's look at Cognac, which is this kind of mid-toned brown color. It's really soft. I don't know what people were complaining about. Those two colors are really soft. Both of those are matte, by the way. So let's swatch it. Swatch is pretty. Swatch is really pretty, actually. That'll make a beautiful, like, deep dark crease color or like an outer V color for a natural day. I like that one a lot. Now let's go to Cordial, the middle color, which is the reason why I bought the palette. This one is less soft and less buttery or smooth feeling, but it still is like really pigmented, and it's kind of the same color as my skin, so you can't really see it, but the powder is there. Let's swatch it. This one is probably the least pigmented so far. I mean, not just because the color is lighter, but because I feel like the swatch, it's a little tiny bit patchy, but that could just be because of the color. I mean, you can tell it's there. It's gonna make a beautiful crease color, but it's the least pigmented of the 3 so far. Now let's go to Champagne Toast, which is the color that Jaclyn created. So this is a very, very sparkly, like, bronzy gold color. It's really soft feeling. It doesn't feel chalky or rough or like scratchy at all, and it's really, really pigmented. There it is on my finger. Let's swatch it on my arm. Ooh, that is pretty. I don't know if you guys can see because of the like reflection of the ring light, but that is beautiful. It's almost like a burnt bronzy color. Here, let me turn down the brightness on the ring light. There you go. You can see it a little bit better now. Whew, pretty. Okay, last one, Chardonnay. So this is a super, super sparkly, like white gold color, and this one is probably the most chalky or like scratchy feeling of all 5. It still is soft, but it is a little bit scratchy feeling, and here's that one. Wow, that swatch is really pretty. I mean, it is a little patchy. I'm gonna go over it again with a second coat. It's a little bit on the patchy side, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a really pretty color, and that's the only one that I had to do 2 layers of in order to get it to like pow pigment. Okay, so here's the colors up close. This is Bourjois. You can see how I was saying it gets a little patchy looking towards the bottom, but I think if you blend it in, you pack on enough color, it'll look okay. This one is Cognac. This one's really pretty. This really surprised me. It's kind of like a camel brown. It's not patchy at all. It was really smooth and really pigmented. This one's Cordial. This is the one that the color is my favorite. The formula is not as good as Cognac over here, but it's not patchy. It's just not really pigmented, if that makes sense. Champagne Toast is beautiful. I mean, look at that. There's not a patchy spot of it at all. It's like this bronzy, kind of burnt gold color. It's beautiful, and it has this amazing sheen to it. Chardonnay is probably my least favorite of the whole palette because it is a little bit chalky, a little bit patchy, but with 2 layers, it's really pretty. That's gonna make a beautiful highlight color. Okay, let's put this baby on my eyes. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Okay, so for the crease color, of course, I'm gonna use this middle Cordial color. I love dusty, pinky, mauvey colors. I think they are just beautiful. I'm using all clean brushes, so I don't have to worry about contaminating the brush with other colors. I will say it's not going on the brush very well. It's kicking up powder quite a bit, but it's not really, you know, let me just try to put it on. Let's just see. Yeah, it's not applying very well. I feel like it's just not going on the brush very well. But if I layer it up and really work with it, it goes on. And this color is really similar to my skin tone, so that could have something to do with it. But I will say it is quite difficult to get on the brush. But once I layer it on there enough, it looks nice. Okay, I hate to say this because I love that color so much, but it does not apply well at all. I really had to work with it. I really had to build it up. It was a lot of work, and for a really prestige palette, this was like $45. I don't think I should have to work with it that much. I feel like it should just kind of blend itself like the rock powders do. But in the end, I did get a really pretty crease color. I'm gonna deepen that crease a little bit with the Cognac, and this is just a skinnier brush. So before I was using the Sigma E35, which is a bit more fluffy. This is the MAC 217, which is a little bit more kind of dense and compact. So I'm gonna go in with that. Yeah, this one isn't going on the brush very well either, and this kicks up a lot of dust. Like a lot of dust, which means there's gonna be lots of fallout, but that applies really well. Yeah, that applies well. Once you get it on the brush, I feel like these powders, and I've never used Becca eyeshadows before, so I guess I should preface my review with I can't compare this to other Becca eyeshadows because I've never owned a Becca eyeshadow before. This is my very first one. So I don't know if this is normal for Becca eyeshadows to not really pick up on the brush very well and to kick up a lot of fallout. You see that? I know that compared to like Lorac or Urban Decay, it's a bit much, but that's just my first impressions. I'm gonna go back into Cordial with that same Sigma E35 brush, and I wanna pull that color up a little bit more so you can kind of see it above Cognac. I was able to get Cognac to blend fairly well. I think it was just hard to get it on the brush itself, like right here. But once I got it on the brush, it seemed to work pretty well. It just was kind of hard, like the brush wasn't catching the powders for some reason. Now I'm gonna go in and put an all over lid color on, so I'm gonna use Champagne Toast. and a Sigma E55 flat shader brush to apply that to my lid. This picks up really well on the brush. Maybe it's just like the shimmery colors. I don't know. I guess that's not true because Chardonnay I didn't really like, but Champagne Toast is a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There was quite a bit of fallout with that color. I got a ton of powder stuck in my lashes, so I'm trying to brush that out now. And I did also get some powder down here, so I'm gonna try to brush that off with my fan brush, but it looks really pretty. I mean, it applied well, and it wasn't any more or less easy to apply than a normal eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna go into Bordeaux and a Morphe M433. This is just a more kind of even more dense blending brush, and I'm gonna deepen the outer V. Again, this one seems to not be picking up very well, so I guess it's just they're not picking up on the brushes very well, therefore they're not applying very well. And you can tell I'm using a variety of brushes. I used Sigma and Morphe and MAC, and all of them I seem to be having a little bit of trouble picking up the product. But once it's on the brush, it's applying pretty well. It doesn't look patchy on the eye or anything. I think it looks pretty good. Next I'm gonna go back into Cordial and a pencil brush. This is the MAC 219 brush, and apply this to my lower lash line. Let's see how that goes on. Oh, it applies well on the lower lash line. It applies well, I think, with denser brushes, like more kind of stiff, packed brushes, because it's going on my lower lash line pretty well. To finish off my lower lash line, I'm gonna go back to Bordeaux and apply that to the outer, like 1/3 of my lower lash line with the same brush. Last step for eyeshadow, I'm gonna go in with a big, fat, fluffy blending brush and the color Chardonnay and highlight my brow bone. This does not apply well. It just kind of applies like chunky glitter. I mean, it doesn't apply terribly, but I can barely see it. Maybe I need to use a different brush, but this is the brush I always use for brow highlight. I'm gonna try to go in with the other side of my flat shader brush and pick some of that pigment up and see if that helps. Oh, that helps. It's definitely more pigmented that way. So I guess you just have to go in with like a flat shader brush for this particular highlight color. Okay, so here's the finished look. I think it actually turned out pretty well. I was a little worried because these colors don't necessarily go well together, but the eye look looks really, really good. I took a few pictures and the pictures came out really pigmented, so they show up really well in lighting. Is it my favorite palette? No. Would I spend $45 on it again? Probably not. Is it gonna be my go-to? Probably not. Is it the worst palette in the world? Absolutely not. I guess there was like good versions and bad versions, like a good batch and a bad batch. If this is the good batch, okay, maybe Becca powders just aren't my favorite. Maybe Becca eyeshadows just aren't my favorite. But if this is the bad batch that everybody's complaining about, it's not terrible, guys. Calm down. So that's my thoughts. Unfortunately, you cannot buy this palette. They removed it from the shelves. They pulled it. It's not being sold anywhere. You might be able to find it on eBay. I'll bet somebody's selling it for like a crazy amount of price because it's like a novelty item now, but probably don't waste your money, but it's not like the worst palette in the whole world. Alright guys, well that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please stick around, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!